Hello, good morning, good morning. Don't know if anybody's jumped on. I apologise, I was a couple of minutes late. It's my mother's birthday and I was nattering away on a video call to her, so I do apologise. Stephanie kept me in order and pulled me back in. Apologies, Steph, do apologise. I'm just going to turn the light on, it's a bit dark round here. Oh, there we go. It's not helped much, has it? I think it's made it worse, actually. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So, I don't know whether there's many of you on. I can see 3 people are on. My name, I'll just give you a quick introduction. So I'm Sarah and I own and run the Purple Pumpkin Cake Company. I'm based in Ryle, just outside of Stamford, and I cover a lot of the surrounding areas. So I cover Stamford, Peterborough, Leicestershire, Oakham, up to Grantham, a little bit further up the A1 as well, downwards towards Northamptonshire. So I have quite a vast area that I can cover. I love making wedding cakes and I like to make those wedding cakes personal to you. So I always meet with my couples either in person, or at the moment I've been doing video calls and I intend on carrying them on afterwards. So I meet with the couples and I have a really good discussion with you, and I try and find out all about you and get a gist of your personality and what it is you're wanting to achieve with themes and things like that surrounding your wedding. And then I sit with you and I try to design your wedding cake specifically for you. It's an individual thing, like everything else in life. There's choice. Your wedding should be one of the most enjoyable moments of your life, and that's the planning as well. You know, it shouldn't be stressful, it should be enjoyable. So I sit and I work with you and I design your wedding cake for you. There's loads of different styles of wedding cakes you can have. You can see some of them behind me at the moment. I can tilt the camera up and round. So over in the corner there you can see that one there on the it's hard this, that one there on the end. There's my wooden style cakes. They're extremely popular. Lots of people like the wooden style cakes. I've got to say that it is my most popular design. Next to it you've got a lovely red and gold number, very Christmassy, and that's actually got a huge poppy on top of it. Here we have the honeybee. In the middle here we've got a honeybee design, hexagons and bees. Really current trend at the moment, people still loving that. I'm a Mancunian, so I love everything bee. I am a worker bee. Here, in this green one, people might recognise that. That was actually a 5-tier cake that I won an award at Cake International last year for. And I've cut it down to 3 tiers to make it more movable. I was going to strip it and recover it, but I couldn't bear to strip it because I loved it too much. So I've cut it down to 3 tiers now. Behind me we have a mix of both worlds. So we have the wooden cake, which is extremely popular with all of my clients, and then we have a nice white wedding cake on top. That again, I won an award at Cake International last year for that design. It's got 2 little sugar doves on top as well, dove being the sign of love and peace. So over this side you can see, bottom shelf there, we've got a birch cake. So this is a white birch. My wooden cakes are extremely popular. I think it's probably my speciality. I'm quite good at making wooden cakes look really realistic. It's fantastic if you're having a natural themed wedding. You know, if you're in a barn or a field or teepees, you know, these natural cakes I think are a fantastic alternative to naked cakes. I'm not a fan of the naked cake, I'll be completely 100% honest with you. I know that they've been a bit of a trend, but for me it is just cake. It's just cake piled up. Yes, they can look beautiful, but the fact is, if you stick a sponge cake in the middle of a table and leave it there for 6 to 8 hours and come back and expect it to taste as good as a nice fresh cake, it's not going to happen. It doesn't matter what we do to it, it's not going to be the same. When we ice a cake, before I ice it, I encase it in some chocolate ganache. That seals that cake inside of there and it keeps it lovely and moist and fresh. So that once I've iced it, when you cut your cake, it's super fresh, it's super moist. For a naked cake that stood out, you're just not going to get that freshness and moistness. I do make naked cakes, I do make semi-naked cakes, and I do everything to them to make them as lovely and moist as I possibly can, but I'm not a miracle worker. So yeah, the wooden cakes are a fantastic alternative if you're going for a rustic theme. Definitely, you know, you can dress them up, you can dress them down, you can keep them rustic, you can put flowers on, you can mix and match, change the colours. So brilliant idea. In the middle here, you've got your flower hoops. Floral hoops are a real thing. And you know, actually, when I first got married back in 1995, both of my little flower girl bridesmaids carried floral hoops. They were hoops covered in silk, and then they had a floral arrangement at the base to match the larger bridesmaids. So this is a bit of a take on that, a floral hoop. Your hoops could be metal, you know, if you've got any metal going on in the theme of your wedding. Or you could just have them white, or you can have a wooden one or a raffia one. There's loads of different hoops. So, you know, you can really play with the style on that. And then you can play with the flowers that you add. I mean, I've added some sugar flowers here. We've got some pale pink and peach ranunculus. I can't say it. I'm terrible with pronunciations. And then just some greenery behind and some lovely little delicate orchids. So I'll actually bring that over and show you it, shall I? May as well. We'll bring that over. Here we go. So yeah, you can see those flowers there on this lovely hoop. These are all sugar flowers. I do make all my own sugar flowers. I love making sugar flowers. They take a lot of time, and that is obviously represented in the price of them, but they really are a showpiece on your cake. I love bright colours, as you can see. So this one is like a tealy blue, azure blue cake. And then next to it here, we've got this lovely simple cake. This is a navy and white combination. It's incorporating the drips, which are very in at the moment. And then it's just got some white hydrangea just there, you know, really classic wet navy and white. You can't beat that. So up on the top shelf here, let's discuss some of these. So on the top shelf there, we've got in the far corner there, we've got a navy and peach cake. The base tier of that is ruffled. Now when it comes to ruffles, you can get lots of different kinds of ruffles. These are done in a V ruffle, up and down, and they're actually integrated peach and white. It's very subtle, but you can see it. You can also have ruffle roses, so you can have, you know, scrunchy ruffles in different colours. There's lots of different ways of doing that. Above that, we've got some stenciling going on, some peach and rose stenciling, and then on this cake, it's actually got some Art Deco flowers. So they're very Art Deco, very 3 petals, very strong, prominent, simple. Okay. In the middle here, this is Fresh Beginnings. I do name all my cakes. I am that crazy. Fresh Beginnings. On the base tier, we've got some grey and white marbled driftwood. Marble, again, fantastic theme for your wedding cake. It really does catch the eye. It looks brilliant, whatever colour combination you go for. You can paint threads of it with metallic silvers and golds and rose golds. It looks lovely. And above that, we've got a lustered green tier. Then we have a ring of flowers going around this cake. There's nothing on top of this cake. If you look at the top of it, there's nothing on the top. The flowers are actually in a ring around the middle of the cake. Now, they are what I call my pop flowers. And I use that term because I like to think of them as a pop of colour on your cake. Now, they're not as hard to make as the more intricate flowers and the more lifelike flowers that I make. So they're not as expensive. But that does not diminish their beauty. They really are lovely. You know, you can get all of the colours in there, whether you're going pale like this one is, pale and pastel-y, or you can go really bright and vibrant. The pop flowers, they just pop, and it's lovely. So now this one here, she is actually one of my favourites. So she has a ruffled tier on the base as well, but her ruffles are upturned, and they grade from a dark pink up to a white. Driftwood again on this cake, but a yellow driftwood this time with some gold leaf attached to it. And top tier, marbled again. 3 different colours going into this one. You've got a cerise pink, you've got a bluey mauvey colour, and then you've got the white in the background. And some gold leaves been attached to that marble as well. It really makes it stand out. Just one large flower in the arrangement on this cake, and it is made to look real, so it is at the more expensive end of the scale. But when you're going for something like that, it's a statement piece, so you don't need many of them. A bit of greenery around it, and that's really all you need. You know, you don't want to be overplaying it. So yeah, so that's just talked through some of them. So I like to play with textures, I like to play with colours. Personally, I like each tier to have something different, but that doesn't mean you have to go for it. If you look at this one here, it's the same cake all the way up. It's still stunning. So they're here behind me. I don't know if you can see. I'm actually working on one at the moment. Please do excuse my desk. I've been having a sort out as well. Have we all sorted out our cupboards during lockdown? I have. This one here, this is a new dummy cake that I'm currently working on. You can see the middle tier here, extremely shiny. It's lovely and shimmery and shiny and glittery. I'll see if I can bring it in a bit closer for you. So can you see this effect on the middle tier? Really, really shimmery and shiny and pretty. And the top tier's also got a bit of a shine to it. We call that a luster. So the top tier's lustered on that one. Now the base tier on this is just currently iced white, and that's because that base tier is going to have what's called rose ruffles. So it's a rose cut out and frilled and then scrunched together and stuck on, and it takes a long time. You know, it can take 6 to 7, maybe 8 hours to ruffle a tier, depending on the size of the tier. So again, it is something that does add a small expense to your cake, but it's stunning. It is stunning when it's done. So it is VE day. I've got my headscarf on. I'm all dressed in my tea dress. I've made some meringues this morning. They've gone in the oven. We're going to have meringues and strawberries and cream. We've actually got a bit of a tea party going on. So during lockdown, I've diversed a bit, and I've been doing treat boxes every week, 10 treats in a box. And people have been buying them. So obviously this week I made extra, and we're having a bit of a tea party this afternoon. We've got lots of different lovely scrummy cakes there. And other gorgeous delights, and we'll all be very full by tea time. By the time we go out to sing, we'll meet again, along with the rest of the country, hopefully. So whatever you're doing today, I hope you are planning some VE celebrations. It would be lovely to hear what you're all getting up to. I'm actually still working, so I've also got a celebration cake going out today. So for a lovely lady's 80th birthday, family will be delivering that at a safe distance. Party without cake's just a meeting, people. So wedding cakes, back to the subject in hand. So I get people that come to me and they say, do I need a wedding cake? I'm not really keen on cake. To be fair, I am a savoury person. I love cake, but I am a more savoury person. So I do understand it when people say to me, well, I'm not really fussed about cake. Do I need a cake? I think you do, and that's not just because I make cakes. I think the wedding cake is a really important traditional part of your ceremony as a whole. You know, it's a chance to, it's not only food for your guests, but it's a chance to put your personality into the cake and your stamp on the cake. It can be a real talking point. It can be a source of humour. You know, some guests will walk into a room and they see the cake and there could be something going on the back, and I like to set up my double-sided cakes with a mirror behind, a trifold mirror, so as the guests approach they can see the back and they see something else is going on. So it can be a source of humour as well. Guests find that amusing. I like to hide things in the cake. If it's a very traditional cake, you could have a little Lego man poking out the flowers, or I did a really traditional cake once where it was ruffles on the bottom and a plain tier and then flowers on the top, and in the ruffles at the back, really, really small, was a Superman sign. It was just hidden away, and the groom didn't even know it was going to be there. The groom was a massive superhero fan, and the bride had asked me to just do this for him. It was a subtle touch, but it raised a smile, and that's what it's all about. I also think, yes, you do need a cake, because once you're married and you've signed the documents and then you head off to your venue, cutting your cake together will be the first act you make as a married couple. You will stand together side by side in front of all of your guests. You'll join hands and you'll take that knife and you'll cut that cake, and that will be the first thing you do as a married couple. And I think that's a really important moment. Every single person in that room, I guarantee you, will have their phone out and they will be taking a photo of you cutting that cake. everybody will have a photo of you cutting that cake. And you will receive photos of you cutting that cake. So why would you not need a cake? You know, yes, you need a cake. Now then, when it comes to budget, how are you going to factor that cake into your budget? It doesn't have to break the bank. You may have a massive budget, you might have a small budget. You can still have a beautiful wedding and a beautiful wedding cake. So I always advise my couples when I'm having a conversation with them, I say to them, you know, how many people are you actually feeding with this cake? How many people do you need this cake to feed? If they're serving the cake in the evening, my next question would be, well, have you got other desserts on offer? Because if you've got other desserts on offer, you don't really need to worry about it feeding everybody. But if you haven't got other desserts on offer, then you do need to make sure that there is a piece for everybody. Personally, if I was getting married, the evening buffet, I wouldn't have any desserts on it. I would not add any desserts. I would use the cake as my dessert. 2, 3, 4, 5 tiers possibly. Every tier a different flavour, and in that way you are giving your guests a fantastic choice of flavours, you know, so they can come along to the end of the buffet, there's trays of cake there, it's got labels in front of them telling them all the fantastic flavours, and they can take their pick. Cake people will take one of every flavour, I can assure you. So there we go. Yeah, so you can fit it into your budget that way if you're struggling. So what else could we talk about? I think I might have covered everything. So there's still people watching, so that's good. Haven't bored you all to tears. I am pleased. Let's have another think what we can talk about. Oh, right, okay, yes. So the service I provide to you. So we've met, we've discussed, we've chosen a cake. You're really happy with your design. What happens next? Okay, so fantastic. You decided you want to use me to make your wedding cake. I'm chuffed. Yay, go me. I'm going to pop that into my diary as soon as you've paid the booking deposit. So what will happen is I would send you across a printed invoice which would detail everything that had been discussed and everything you decided upon for your cake. On that invoice there would also be a booking deposit payment and there would be a date and there would be back details for you to make the transfer, blah, 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 blah. I always ask that when you make that transfer, you let me know you've made the transfer. I have this panic that this money's going to go missing and I'm not going to know where it's gone. And then I will go on and I'll confirm to you straight away that I've received it, or if not straight away, within the next couple of hours, to say, yeah, I've got it, that's great. Once I've received that booking payment, you're in the diary, that's great. And then over the course of the following weeks, I'll send you out an amended invoice and I'll also send you out a scanned copy of the design that I've drawn for you. So you'll have a visual representation of your cake as well. Now you can use that, you can keep it secret and not show anybody, nobody's allowed to see it until the day, or you can show your family and your friends. And it's also a really nice thing for you to keep and pop into your wedding journal if you've got one, or your wedding box, or whatever you've got. Then as we run up closer to the day, so I'm not one of those people that likes to be bothered, so I tend to not bother people, but I always say my door's always open. You can always email me, you can always ring me, you can always message me. It may take me a day or so to get back to you because obviously I am working, and well, normally I'm working and I'm busy, but I always do get back to you in the end. I'm only human. So yeah, you can contact me whenever you like, but as it comes from contact from me, I don't really tend to contact you that much unless I absolutely need to. So if your wedding's booked into the following year, you'll get a New Year email from me that'll say, hi, how are you? Happy New Year. You're getting married this year, woohoo! And that kind of thing. Then when we get towards your wedding, 8 weeks before your wedding, I would email you and say, hi, just checking in with you. It's 8 weeks to go. I need you now to check your invoice, check your flavour choices, all of that. And I need you to confirm for me that you're still happy with all of that. That's what you want. From that point onwards, I do ask that no changes are made. It's really difficult if people do start making changes nearer to the wedding. I know that sometimes it's unavoidable, but most of the time it is. And especially in a busy period, I've got a lot of balls that I'm juggling. I need those 8 weeks to make sure that I've got everything I need to make your cake, from the flavour choices to the decoration. You know, if there's flowers that need to be made in advance, I need to be getting that into my diary. So I do ask that from 8 weeks before your wedding onwards that you don't make any changes. About 4 weeks before your wedding, I'll email you again. And this email is just a hi, how's it going? How are the arrangements going? You know, and just checking in with you really. It's more for your benefit than mine. I find that couples get a little bit tetchy if they don't hear from me. I think they think I've run away with their cake. I wouldn't do that, promise. Then the week of the wedding, I will be contacting your venue and I will be arranging delivery. You don't need to worry about any of that. I will be talking to the wedding planner or the receptionist at the venue, whoever I need to talk to. And I will be arranging a mutual time on the day that I can go in and I can set up your cake. I like to set up your cake once the room is set up because obviously I don't really want them to have to move the cake because that risks the cakes being damaged. So I need to go in once the room is set up and available, set up your cake knowing that it's going to stay there for the day until it needs to be moved. So yeah, so that's what I do the week of the wedding. Now on the day of the wedding, I will go and I'll set up your cake, and then I do actually send you a quick email with a couple of photos of your cake set up in the venue. I don't expect a response to this, and you do not even have to read your email. It is simply to say, here's your cake, it's there, it's set up. Some people want to see their cake before they go down. Other people want to keep it a secret and want the surprise as they walk into the room. That's fine. The email's there. If you want to see it, you can. If not, don't worry. Now then, the other end of the bargain after the wedding, I do kind of ask you to do something for me. So if I know you're going off on honeymoon, then I won't bother you. But in the weeks following the wedding, I will send you an email, and it's simply to check that everything was okay. You were happy with everything, and everything went to plan. And then I also ask if you're willing, that I would be really grateful if you'd let me have any photos of you and your partner cutting the cake. These photos really help my business moving forward. There's nothing better to advertise my work than my cake, especially if it's taken by a professional photographer, because those guys make the things just look amazing, don't they? You know, so you guys smiling next to your cake is just such a great advert for me. So I do send to say, please, please, can I have any photos that you're willing for me to have? And I'm always grateful for them. I really am always grateful for them. So yeah, so that's basically the process. Like I say, I'm always available for a chat if you want to discuss anything. Booking into the diary is a really simple thing. So once you've got a wedding date, if you know that it's me that you're quite interested in making your cake, then contact me, give me a date, and I will immediately check my diary. That's the first thing I want to do, because I don't want to waste your time, and obviously I don't want to waste my time either in a non-nasty way, because the diaries do get full up. And if I can't make your cake, then I don't want to waste your time discussing things with you. You know, I can push you on to other local cake makers. I can give you other contact details, you know, so that you can find somebody that is available for you. 2021 is filling up very fast. I mean, it was filling up anyway, to be honest. Everybody seems to have gone wedding crazy. But obviously, because a lot of the 2020 weddings have been postponed, it does mean that moving forward into 2021, a lot of the weddings, you know, dates have been full up. So anyway, I think I'm out of time. It is 11:30. I have waffled and waffled. Thank you for sticking with me, if anybody did stick with me for the full time. And if not, and you're watching this back later, I hope it's not too much waffle. Please do get in touch if you think I can help you in any way. My website is purplepumpkincakes.co.uk. I am on Facebook, the Purple Pumpkin Cake Company, and I'm also on Instagram, purplepumpkin_Stamford. I think it is, or it might be Purple Pumpkin Cakes. But if you type in Purple Pumpkin Cakes, you'll find me. My phone number's on my website, my email address is also on my website, but it is sarah@purplepumpkincakes.co.uk. So please get in touch. Any questions at all, get in touch. I will check back on this live video once it's posted to the page, and if there are any comments, then I will answer them. But thank you for listening. Happy VE Day. We will meet again. It means so much now as it did then. So much love. Stay safe, everyone. Bye. I can't find the finish button. Where's it gonna go? Somebody turn me off. Oh, there we go. Found it. Woo.